Okay, just a quick recap again. If you touch feather, right, it will start to blur out internally. But if you choose a Gaussian blur, it will start to blur out without any so-called conforming to the boundary shapes. Can you see the difference? One is within, very clean cut, there's nothing going on outside. The other one start to blur outside. So those rendering, if you need such similar effect, I would recommend using feather, because blur you will still need to mask it out. Okay. Always remember key principle again: highlight top left, shadow uh, bottom right. Okay, let's go to cylinder 01. Again, for this type of gradient here, let me just press G for you to see. The gradient here, right? Let's say if you want, or if you wish to have it really nicely 45-degree angle, and then you keep on dragging, but you can't get that 45-degree angle. What can you do is to click. When you drag, right, press the shift button. Okay, because the shift will lock it 90-degree and 45-degree angle, so that you can get that nice 45-degree angle look. Okay, for the cylinder, remember your tonal value where we start. Let's say, for example, if it's a 0, where is the 1, the 2, the 3? It's the same concept here. So if you notice my gradient bar, there's only 4 tones. One is the highlight, the body, and then the shadow. Okay, let's move to cylinder 02. Okay, cylinder 02 right now is currently missing a highlight here. Okay, let me just delete this out also. Let's say, for example, after you finish drafting, right, you do not need to re-render again. What can you do is to pluck out your eyedropper and then borrow the gradient from cylinder 01. Now we need to build up the effects. Okay, let me just push this out so that you can see what were the effects. See, there's one which is the highlight here, the other one is the shadow. So how to create that is to copy pasting the shape. Let's say, for example, now I have it here, copy and then paste in front, Ctrl C, Ctrl F. Right now, if you notice, I just need two value. One is the light value, the other one is the dark value. So let's work with the darker value first. So just two value, light and dark. But the gradient is not where I want, because why? The light come from the top left hand corner. Press G again. So now we drag from the top to the bottom. Okay. Let's drag out a ruler again to just double check whether it's near the um, guideline of the so-called fillet profile. Yes, it is. So let's say, for example, now if once we put it back into the drawing itself, if you remember, if we wish to have a shadow, it need to be go to transparent and then multiply. So notice that the multiply here, let me just adjust a tiny little bit here. Okay, notice that the multiply is not working well, because why? There is an overlap here. What you need to do is to check whether your white is a full white, which currently is not. Now it's at 16. Just push it 0k. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Select the color here. 0k. Immediately you can see a difference. How well the so-called shadow sit inside. Copy paste again. Right now, since we have the shadow, let's make the highlight. Rather than bottom, push it higher. Right now we can't put this back in, because why? It's reflecting the shadow, not the highlight. So what you can do is to grab your arrows, reshuffle the light and the dark. Okay, somewhere about there. Why? Because you need to meet at the anchor point. So just now we tried multiply. Now we need the so-called lights. What we can do is to lighten. What I use normally is screen. So let's say, for example, once I put my screen inside, it's too whitewash already, and then for here it's too so-called harsh. It's not really blending that well. What I would do is to double check whether my black under the gradient, click on this one, whether my black is a full black, which is currently not. It's at 87. Push it down to a full black, and then we see it's still not smooth enough, because why, you can see the highlight here, obviously here. What you need to do is to change this to RGB. Instantly you can see the result, and then you can put back to the shape. So that's done. Always remember here also the highlight and the shadow. So now we are at the last portion here, a slightly tricky one, trying to imagine how a cone look like. Let me just copy paste this one outside so that you can see the amount of layers that we use. Let me ungroup this. Okay, once ungrouped and then separated, you can see that we use one base gray color. Okay, the gray color is at 45K, and then we have two different effects here. So how do I get that effects there, right? Let's say, let me just copy paste. How do I get one of the effects here? Is that I can directly click and make sure it's at 45-degree angle. So the next one I need to do is that in order to get that highlight here, right, I need a white. So I will just copy paste in front. Then from there itself, I will adjust the shape slightly. Bring it back inside here. Make sure the back here is actually really dark. Okay, the other corner, because I need the shadows at times, right? And then I need the other than two highlights, one shadow. So I can just take the so-called accent and then I drop. The other one, I should change my background. So right now I have a few different strokes. I can always pick the first set, go to object, make sure my blend option, okay, is in smooth color. How do you make it blend? Okay, hold on, yeah. I will go to object, blend, and then make the blend, which is alternate control B. Okay, you can always make the button or alternate control B. Once you click it, right, it will give this quite nice gradient, so that when you push it back in, make sure it's in the anchor mode, and then switch to the other anchor. I need it to be capturing the lightness here, so I should change to screen mode. Notice now it's slightly much more nicer blend. Okay, the other one I want to capture more of the shadow. Once I draw my triangles, it's just a tool to it's just a tool to blend. Let's say for example we take the edges, connect to the other one. Okay, so from a couple of shapes, then you can blend to achieve the softer rendering. But always take note, you must be on a RGB color document. If not, it doesn't really work that well. So you should be able to clear this and this. Let me now clean up this. I will take out the top view of the cylinder so that you can see the amount of layers that goes inside. Okay, it's quite similar to the front and the right view rendering that we did. Okay, let me just do a reverse engineering so that you can see what's being covered inside here. Let me just release the clipping mask so that you can see. Let's say for example, if I unblend it, okay, unblending is Control Alternate Shift B. So you can see this shape here, right? You need a highlight and then you need a shadow. This is I would say a rectangle which I have drawn and then just resizing. Let's say for example, how do you create that? Let's say I have a circle. What I can do, check out my outline, Control Y, find my center and then drag it out. So once I drag it out here, so let's say for example I want it to be my shadow first. Okay, what I can do next is to, okay, let me just bring this inside slightly. Okay, let me just push it slightly outside here. Okay, the next thing is to copy and paste on top. Control C, Control F. Select the objects again. Okay, right now rather than the deselection, right? Selection tool, you can do a direct selection, which is A. Okay, select the other corners and then make it smaller. I want the shadow to merge or to blend neatly with the white. So this shape here I need to be black. This shape here I need to be in white. Okay. While we want that, right, what else can we do before we blend is to so-called fan it out. Okay. Just fan it out first. After that we can still adjust, clean it. Okay, do not worry. The next one I need to click the base shape, copy, paste on top, bring it to the front. Shortcut button Control Shift right bracket. This one here itself I will use it as a clipping mask. Let me just change to RGB mode. Okay, this is my clipping mask. This is my shapes itself. Okay, so now is to test the blending mode. So I pick my black and white and then I will blend them up. Control Alternate B. Then you can straight away see the item um, quite nicely blend here. However, the white is still strong. What can you do next is to select that blend and then change to multiply. So now you can see the white is neatly being so-called blend. Okay, to complete this rendering, what can you do is to reflect it. Okay, the next one, because we need the highlights, so we need to change to screen mode. Okay, change to screen mode. Inside not supposed to be black, it's supposed to be white, and then outside here is supposed to be black. Do not forget in RGB mode. Then you can do your selection to start to close it up. Okay, notice once you start to close it up, the shape start to gel well better. You can see. So the next one I need you to do is to select the circle with the tool blending mode and then just make clipping mask. So this clipping mask is your layer effect. Once done, place it back to the template. Okay, try to do this exercise before the next one. Okay,